Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. Have you seen the commercials where the family has got an internet plan that they didn't know would get throttled back during peak times? And maybe there's several kids in the household as well as the parents, and everybody's trying to do their thing, and there is not enough bandwidth. Well, guess what? Whenever you go after a new goal, your brain is the same way. So what we need to do before you can increase your bandwidth is begin to look at the tabs that are open. Open loops is what they're called. So the loops that you have open in your brain that need to be closed so you have the focus, the emotional optimization, and the ability to take actions to implement them in a way that's going to be for impact. You have all of that. And all of that comes through an identity upgrade. See, whenever you set a goal for 2024, it is not the goal itself that you're going after. It's who you have to become in order to get that goal. So we want to be able to close the loop of 2023 in a way where you can bring the lessons forward without bringing the patterns of pain and people that are not going to be beneficial. You don't want to bring that into 2024. So this is an exercise I have my private clients doing right now as part of their identity upgrade for 2024. Very first step, you want to look at how did you bond with others? Because you cannot grow unless other people are involved. Now, whenever I talk about bonding, I am talking about how you integrated in a way that was healthy and how you bonded in a way that held you back. You want both. So a great way to do this is by quarters of the year and go to the most recent one. Don't start at the beginning of 2023. Start with what you just completed. October, November, December, because that's going to be the freshest in your mind. Plus, who you are today is a result of the consistent focus, feelings, and actions you've taken over the last 91 days. So who you are right now, you actually started 3 months ago. So let's go to what is apparent right now. Look at the bonding. And then you can go, oh, okay, then we can do, what is that, July, August, September, and then work your way back. So how did you bond? And how did you bond in a way that was healthy? And how did you bond in a way that held you back? Step number 2. How did you separate from others? And we want to look at how you drew boundaries. Boundaries bless, and how you instituted rules. Rules restrict. We always start with boundaries first. And there are 4 types of boundaries. One boundary is, oh, I don't need anybody's assistance. I've got this. Now, it is not a boundary if you're like, oh, everybody has let me down in my life, so I don't need anybody. I can do it all on my own. No. That is disordered, dysregulated, and dysfunctional because we cannot grow outside of relationships with others. So if you can't count on anybody in your life,
we need to be looking at why you continue to repeat the pattern of bringing people in. It is a learned behavior, but that's the great thing. Anything that has been learned can be relearned. Okay. So number one boundary is that you didn't need anybody else's assistance. You were able to do it on your own. Second boundary is, you needed to make a request of someone at your level or maybe beneath you to give some assistance. Now, keep in mind, it is not a boundary if there are not consequences, if they do not live up to their part. You don't always have to tell them what those consequences are, but you do need to have in your mind that this is what's going to happen if they're not able to step up, or if they say they're going to step up, but they don't fulfill their end of it. Number 3 is that, I need to ask an authority figure for assistance. Then this is where you reach out to be empowered. I train as an instructor. I train a lot of therapists, a lot of counselors, psychologists, psychiatrists, MDs. I also train lay people to be a certified hypnotist. But this is one of the challenges that can be in traditional talk therapy, is that you're going to go in and you're going to finally talk yourself into a solution. And it's going to take a long time. I utilize what's known as strategic intervention coaching. Ain't nobody got time for that. We need to get to it. So I am going to give you a lot of processes and systems and programs to go by, because I know 1 out of every 5, 2 out of 10, that's 20%, is actually going to work for you, because it's going to be unique based on who you are. Okay, so when you go to an authority figure, I'm just saying, go to someone who's going to give you a system so that you can report back and say, these are the pieces that work the best for me. This didn't work so well, and this I don't ever have to repeat again. So it can be refined to you, instead of you just eventually getting to some point where you talk yourself into it. And this is the reason why a lot of people that already are in the healing industry are utilizing hypnosis, because it's a great way to get subconscious agreement on a system. If you don't have that agreement, you will continue to self-sabotage, because there is a missing piece in your identity. Okay. So reaching out to an authority figure is number 3. Number 4 is, I've done all I can. I'm not going to continue to give this any more of my focus, of my energy, and of my action. I'm done. I'm complete. And this is when you close the chapter. So you want to look at, how did you separate from others by drawing boundaries? But then there's the second part, rules that restrict. Once you learned a lesson from a boundary, how did you put it in place where people could no longer continue to utilize your energy for their benefit at your expense? What is it that you needed to do to restrict that access? Okay, then after that, we want to look at the lessons, the good lessons, the bad lessons, the ugly lessons, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is step number 3. And say, okay, I don't want to take painful people into my future. I don't want to take painful experiences into my future unless they're giving me some sort of progress. So, what did I discover? The good, the bad, the ugly that I want to take forward. And then step number 4. How are you going to implement these things immediately? And maybe not all of them can be implemented immediately. You need to do a dominance hierarchy, which says, you know what? This I feel like is the number one experience that I went through. And so I'm going to look for ways to put it into play right away. And then maybe here's the backup one that I really think could assist me. And then this third one, yeah, it's knowledge. I can use it a little bit later on. And then number 4 might be that it's an education that I paid a price for, but I don't know that I need to be using it right now. So that's what I'd like you to do. And then our next step is going to be, how do you begin to set up people, places, and things for you to move into 2024 to where you make it your year of achievement? Until we get together again, blessings on your journey.